be a little bit of both. Now we've got New Zealand, or rather probably going in and out of stream once again. So why do I even... Oh. Yeah, I've got no idea what that is, so maybe we can contact Pete, please. I didn't get that, but okay. Have you got a constant stream coming into ST? In other words, problem with satellite link or something again. Okay, well, excuse me. If there's anybody out there that is getting a good stream that can hear me without breaking up, please send an email to drivequestions at wildearth.tv. Because otherwise I am talking to myself. Oh, look there, look at those baboons. Nice, backlit baboons. But you see what? Same thing. We stop and we look at them, and what do? They run away. They win. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just wait until we get an answer out of whether we're live or not. And T-Third is listening to me. And if we can't get signal, something's wrong. We'll just have to do some work. Can you not see this view at all? You don't know if it's...
all he has got backward over there.
Okay, well then if I fiddle HDMI.
What is the front of that?
Yes. And is it... Yeah, well... Okay, well then it's not our end, we can at least carry on our drive, but it's, yeah, sounds like a bunch of viewers are getting everything's good with them, so it sounds like, it seems like it would, whoever's not being able to do it, it's internet on your end, that's the service providers, your whatever it is, on that end of the world, because it sounds like some people... Okay, then it would be interesting to know what the countries are that are getting good signal and sound, and countries that aren't, because maybe it's a per country thing. Maybe. But nothing to do with us and them and everything. Not often that I come down this road. I'm normally going up this road, and that bump isn't that bad going the other way. Hello, Nyala. Hello, Hanley. Hanley in Pretoria. Hanley wants to know. I'm hoping we're going to get. Maybe we'll switch off here because I'm worried that we might get a signal loss. But Hanley was asking if we had also it helps us to listen for elephants, but Hanley wanted to know if we get any tomorrow dik-dik or Sunni antelope out here, and whether it's just that they are very secretive and hide away, that we don't see them. But no, we don't get them here. Hanley, tomorrow dik-dik are in Damaraland, and that is in Namibia. Kirk's dik-dik, well, actually it's the same as the Kirk's dik-dik, I think. The same, it's a different subspecies to the same species of dik-dik you get in East Africa, and it's very, very strange that there are these two populations, that you have these dik-dik in like Masai Land and for northern Tanzania and Kenya, and you have the same species basically in Namibia, and there's nothing in between, because in between is all this sort of Central African habitat that is too wet for dik-dik, and they prefer a drier climate. Sunni are even rarer than dik-dik. I've only seen Sunni in a couple of places, but I don't believe we get Sunni here. Sunni are also very small antelope, smaller than steenbok and duiker, but dik-dik are only a little bit bigger than two guinea fowl put together, with longer legs. In fact, they're not about the same size. Tiny little things. And if there were dik-dik here, they would hide so easily in these grasses. Figure, behave. We wouldn't. There's something wrong with the fuel system, because it's something. Could be a fuel, and maybe I need to change the filter. I've got to go to town anyway tomorrow, so spend the day in town. I might as well get a fuel filter. Inline fuel. One of the best populations of dik-dik that I've lived with have been in a number of places I've lived. Mostly Ruaha, beautiful population of dik-dik there, and in Tarangire National Park. And up in Meru National Park, and in Mara. I think there were 4 of them in the Mara. I can't remember. Definitely I think in Chulu. That's where I first saw them. They have tracks for a big elephant here. I'm going to have to turn around. There's an elephant bull that's been here. And a vehicle driving on top of his track. You know what we'll do? We'll just do a loop round and back onto Nyaleti Road. back, see if we can find the rest of these tracks. Excuse me. Twice in the morning, twice in the afternoon. So they're not fresh tracks. It's the same group of one lodge. It'll be hard to find tracks with the sun behind me, but we'll see what I can do. Go back towards Mangawan Road. Mangawan meaning jackal. Not to be confused with Mangajan, which means bat. Marula trees are getting buds. piece of wood. See, these are the tracks coming from here. Must have been when they were down there yesterday, coming up here, crossing this road. Like here. Because there are antlion tracks, and there are a whole bunch of the tracks crossing here. And then they cross Mangawan extension, and they must have gone up north. Okay, copy. You know if Pete's aware of this? There they are. Pokokaya Road up north. So, they didn't turn south. And I'm not going to find their tracks. And problems with the internet coming in and out. I'm wondering if I should even talk. So let's take Dombaya and then go back to the river and then go and scratch around for leopards. Oh, that might just hit. Oh, it might just miss. I guess it's not going to be good doing any questions and answers because been any response from your exposure shot?
The one guy.
Huh?
The one guy. He says he's looking for lens flare. All the angles point to one direction, but I don't know. Those angles don't point to the light.
But yes, lens flare from what exactly? Was there anything in front of the camera?
Nothing.
At all?
Nothing.
Lens flare in sort of illuminating green light. That's why I thought it was maybe that sort of glow in the dark figures of a watch. Obviously the bit rate is a bit high and they need to drop the bit rate, which will probably drop image quality.
This is 3 photos, so I don't think there could be a watch.
3 photos, but only one was like that.
No, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them are like that.
And that shape gets smaller and smaller. It's not exactly the same, it gets smaller and smaller.
What is the time frame between the 3 pictures?
Like 2 minutes? A minute or 2.
So basically, when you set up the camera you had torches on. Yeah?
One little head torch.
Okay, so it's true, it was artificial white light. And so it's possible that it triggered some bioluminescence that faded after a few minutes. Hey Starling.
So we switched off the torch before we bust it out.
Yeah, but that's why bioluminescence, things will glow, like glow in the dark things. They're bright at first, but then they start getting dimmer because they lose that luminescence. Now,
wouldn't that like have to...
Conveyor.
Wouldn't that bioluminescence have to be in the exact same place?
I'd not have to look at those 3 pictures.
You see, it diminishes in the exact same place. Because let's say...
And the camera was in the same position, more or less the same place, more or less pointed, but of course now you've got moonlight, so, and you were filming that on a new moon when there was no moon.
But even if it is a lens flare then, I think we got one of the rarest lens flares you can get.
I think it's weird.
Yeah, if it is a lens flare, that's what they say, it's a lens flare then.
But no, a lens flare needs a light source to flare. I'm thinking it's something glowing, reflecting on the lens. That's what my thinking is. Quite difficult.
Maybe you should send the pictures to Nikon.
Yeah.
They might be interested. Yes?
Yeah, this is what your camera does in the dark. It destroys our images. It keeps producing more special. You've got to stick with this trick. We will call it a USO. A USO. An unidentified suspended object. Something suspended that caused that to appear in the photograph. I'm eventually going to get there, Brad. Okay, I'm just going to go up Mangwa. Or maybe I'll come up that Kovani. Shall we or shall we? Or shall we? What shall we do? Yeah, they were here. Let's go up the riverbed. highly mobile. Kudu. We saw this family this morning. I think this is a young bull here, but I think this has got that old female. It doesn't even have any stripes. Look, there's Nyala as well. Stuck amongst this kudu. There's a kudu wannabe. Two Nyala, Mama Nyala and a baby. We'll be able to get a picture of this. If this female kudu stays where she is, we'll get it. Oh, she's off and she chased the Nyala. Oh, you silly girl. I was hoping we'd get her and the Nyala together. Yeah, but there's no Nyala. So yes, she's also an old lady. That's got a ringworm or something on her neck.
What could a kudu do?
What did you say?
Say, what could a kudu do if a kudu could do?
What would a kudu do to earn kudus if a kudu could earn kudus? Forget who that was. How about telling you about Tim? My problem with talking at the moment and telling you about things is having to repeat it because the signal is choppy and it's breaking up, and it can be a little bit frustrating from my end that I've been told. Sometimes I'm talking and then I get a message. We didn't copy all that because the signal was broken. So at the moment I'm a little reluctant to wax lyrical or wax anything at all. Because I don't know how good the signal is. I'm waiting for word. Oh, look, there's a little baby waterbuck. Got a fright when it jumps in the road. But the waterbucks have already moved through there. looked at her. Okay, next time I say don't look now, but there's a bush spot. Or kudu, or something. As soon as we turn the camera towards them, they run away. Obviously, we'll soon know if there's leopard up there, because Nyala are walking around. We're just going to sit quietly and listen for a little bit. And instead of driving in there, we'll soon learn if there's leopard in there or not, by what happens with those Nyala that are walking through there. Another Nyala crossing the road. So we know that they're not south of the river. And so they might have moved. somewhere up the tree there. Can't see it. Also alarming. Complaining. And as I stopped, it was making a liquid call, but it's not doing it now. Pardon?
I can see it.
Can you?
Oh, there
Oh,
it is.
there. Because that's why I was looking at it. See, as soon as you look at it, it's fine. If you didn't look at it, it would have sat there trying to pretend to be invisible. But it was making us call, and then when we stopped, it was just doing it. So maybe it's Orioles are doing that to me. The digger.
I like the digger.
Nothing like the sound of an Oriole complaining. We didn't win World Series. Isn't that funny? I was doing this exact same thing in exactly the same place this morning. You can see I have my tire tracks. I'm going over my tire tracks in exactly. I wonder what it is that sparked me to do. Well, I know I'm looking for some other tracks, and I have to weave in and out of the other vehicles' tracks to do that. Like whose tracks are those? Indistinct in the soft sand. We need some clarification.
Maybe the other guys driving road. One vehicle just doing these loops in and out. What a single thing.
Oh, but they know my tires by now.
That guy.
Yeah. Mark was drunk again. Still. Promise it was a straight line, officer. The road was a straight line. My tire tracks might have weaved in and out a little bit, but the road was straight. Beautiful light. Can we please see a leopard or a lion or an elephant or a polar bear or a tiger or something? I think we've got just as much chance of seeing a polar bear as we have of seeing a lion right now. Or an elephant. Jigger. Now, Jigger. Jigger. I would have said we had a pretty good chance of seeing buffalo, but it's late already. They could have been here earlier today, but they've probably gone off already, off grazing, gone off to, probably gone already. Not probably, they have gone. They're not here, but they have gone. Not probably, Mark. If they're not here, there's no probability factor. It's a definite. Okay, Mark. Just say so. Driving within centimeters of a perilous fall down the side of a damn wall, either into stinking, muddy, terrapin-infested waters, or down an embankment to lion-filled jungle. Fortunately, we made it across the damn wall without incident, and we live another day. I wonder what the ghost road has got for us today. The ghost road. Boom, 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 boom. There's a buffalo. Ooh. Oh, this is more than just here's a buffalo. This is a little bit more animated than our usual buffalo. Two bulls are having a go at each other, and while it might not be that they have females to fight about because they're all bulls. Oh, careful, man, you get your horn stuck in a tree. Now, can't really see them too well. Bush isn't that great. There's these short stunted terminalias. This is immense strength, everyone. You want to see something in nature that's really, really brute strength. It's two big buffalo bulls like this having a go at each other, and it can only be that they're almost equally matched. Unfortunately, it's not something that we can really view well, especially since they're moving around a lot. But wow. Locking horns. Come into the road, boys, so we can see. I can try and get a bit closer, because they are a little preoccupied. Problem with being close is that they can ram right into the vehicle, which would look great in 3D. That's a little bit preoccupied. Incredible light too. Just not far enough forward. A little bit of a checkmate. Stronger bull on the left. Or rather, he's bigger. Older. He's got an injury. Bull on the left, nicked by the other one's horn, right there below the boss. Of course, an injury like that is nothing. Just a little scratch for the big old bull. Puffing and puffing. He's also got a bit of a nick behind his shoulder. Guys, you haven't even broken out a sweat yet. Look at me. I'm not getting involved. And now, having a break.
That's your half of Thornybush, this is mine.
Seems to be maybe going back to the dam. Clearly this old man didn't have to prove anything. There was that other younger one. He's also an old man, but he's a younger old man. There's the one that was huffing and puffing and dancing in circles. I think what happened was this one actually managed to pin his head down. That's what we saw over there. Managed to pin him down, his head and his horns, long enough to prove a point. That was interesting. That was interesting. Now, they're sort of grazing in separate directions. You go your way and I'll go mine. Bob Dylan song. Very appropriate song for the moment. Robert Zimmerman from where? Detroit. Where was Robert Zimmerman born? Somebody please tell me. Too much of a coincidence that comes from the same place that Rodriguez came from. And that they both started their careers, and Bob Dylan took off and Rodriguez faded into United States obscurity, became a huge fan in South Africa. We listened to him extensively in the 70s. He was a cult hero here, Rodriguez. His poetry matched, if not better, Dylan at the time. Or he was a bigger star than Dylan. He was bigger than Queen, he was bigger than his album Cold Fact was an icon. It was a classic. It is was it a huntsman or a player? Indeed, wasn't. But yes, Bob Dylan songs, you go your way and I'll go mine. From about 1966, I think. I'll guess. I'll hazard a guess. This is a beautiful life. Oh, we saw something in this life, saw some buffalo fighting, having a little disagreement. That wasn't really it was a mild disagreement. That's something to do with practice. Believe me, these old bulls by this age, they don't need it. Had their fair share of lock horns. Quiet, and everybody wants me to talk, and when talk stops. Oh look, nice in the subject. Beautiful life, he says. Duluth, Hibbing, Minnesota, Yosemite. Who's that from Yosemite? Carol in Yosemite. Born in Duluth and then Hibbing, Minnesota. Hibbing, that's where Charlie comes from. Are they talking about Robert Zimmerman now or Rodriguez? MJ Bradley. See now, Robert Zimmerman, 1940 something. Yeah, no, I've got his whole biography and his biography CD. I just for some reason wasn't sure where it was that he was from. I thought for a minute. Sorry. Of course, Rodriguez now, everything has changed since a few guys got together and made a really incredible award-winning movie. There are a couple of guys my age who like me in the army, we used to listen to Rodriguez, his anti-establishment songs, and we were very much so, but we couldn't voice it, we couldn't do anything about it, we couldn't protest, we had to do what we had to do. We were just pawns of the government, almost under that nationalist government. Anyway, a couple of guys my age decided that they were going to actually look for this guy, because we'd heard all sorts of rumors about the reason why Rodriguez only made cold facts was that he died or something. I remember. All wondered what happened to his music. So there were a couple of guys that decided they'd followed up, and then there was a Dutch movie maker who decided that he'd jump onto the story, and they started making a film, and it became Searching for Sugar Man. A really wonderful film, won some awards, and finally got Rodriguez a little bit of the recognition he deserved. I mean, now I think he's still touring. I think his daughters are helping him. He, I believe, doesn't really want much of fame. He still lives in the same old house, and he still likes to do his old maintenance job. And his daughters, I think, daughters and family have all benefited from his success. I wonder who that could be. Barefoot and lion tracks and making circles. I don't remember doing it, but I wish I did. I don't think there's anyone else that's barefoot in this part of the world. So, he is quite a wonderful poet. He did study philosophy, Rodriguez. Sixto Rodriguez. I don't know how you would pronounce that in Mexican Spanish. Sixto, I don't know, Sixto. I don't know. Sixto Rodriguez. And I wonder how many times you've been had. And I wonder. One of his other songs, I wonder. Wonder I do. And get a little bit of that sunset, and we can that's beautiful actually, this light and that dead tree, and maybe a little forward. Nice time of the day. We were here with buffalo earlier today. Feeding here the buffalo. We couldn't see them very well. Lion tracks coming this way, but I don't know. I don't think they're recent, because those lions seem to be up there with these males, up there with those females with the giraffe kill. But the question that came in from Tony and family, I'm thinking maybe this is Tony and family in Netherlands, Holland, yeah, Netherlands. If a male lion rules a territory and a coalition of two male lions come in and they choose a fight with him, will he fight, or will he give up to fight another day? And obviously, right off the bat, I'm going to say it depends, because there's so many different factors here. It's not something that you can give an answer to that will be correct most of the time, because just to re-emphasize, a behavioral thing is something that can never be predicted. It is not something that is a set behavioral pattern that we can say, yes, he will do this, and yes, he will, or no, he won't do that. There are times when a single male lion, if he's a really big male lion and he's got enough experience, and there are two younger males trying to come in and force him out of his territory, he is going to fight them. And it's possible that he will manage to chase them off. The one thing he definitely won't do, no big male lion will do this. If he's got a territory, he won't just give up for another day and come back another day. There's no such thing as coming back another day. If he's ousted from that territory, if there are two males that move into a territory that has one male lion and he is ousted, he is gone for good. So if he decides, just because he doesn't really want to risk injury, and that two big males come in, and he decides to put his tail between his legs and run away, there's no coming back for a second fight. He's not likely to. Those males will come in, they'll take over that territory, and they will then rule the roost. On the other hand, there are times when he will fight. Mostly, I would imagine, a lion would fight, and the times that he might win and the times that he might lose. And the weirdest thing is that because it's lion, and because it's an animal that has moods, it has different energy levels, there are different factors, whether it's healthy or not so healthy, whether it's got a slight muscular injury or not. So many factors that on one day, one particular day, it might be able to chase two intruding males out of his territory, and if it happened 2 days later, or if it happened a week later, or if it happened at another moment, maybe it was after a particularly grueling giraffe kill or buffalo kill, he might not be able to chase them away. So it's not something that is just such an easy answer to say, yes, well, he will do one thing or another. There are untold scenarios that can unfold with the case of a male with females and two males coming in. Could be that he is in his prime and that the females even help him chase off the males, especially if those females have got cubs that they want to protect as well. It's one of those wonderful things that it's not a straightforward answer, and as I so many times tell you, it depends on so many factors. When it comes to animal behavior, there's just so many influencing angles to an animal's behavior that nothing can ever be predicted. Nothing can ever sort of be written down and given as that is what an animal does under certain circumstances. Well, pretty scar and a lovely skeleton. I'm thinking that this could be, and it's a really beautiful skeleton of a tree. Could be a very old milkberry, Zulu milkberry, but it doesn't look like it. Those branches don't give me the impression. Otherwise, it's a really twisted jackalberry, really old and stunted jackalberry. The base of it looks a little bit jackalberry-ish. But that was a Medusa of a tree. I might even just get a photograph of that right now. Should have had a photograph earlier. The light was better. Yebo. We're back. Finally, very interesting question there as well, with regard to lion, whether when lion have other predators come through their territory, will they actively go and hunt them down, like hyena and leopard and things, and kill them to eliminate competition, or is it just sort of a chance meeting that they'll kill them if they come across them? And pretty much the latter, only lion invariably live, because of the size of their territories, lion have got very, very large territories, and you'll invariably find a number of leopard territories within a lion's territory, so it just wouldn't work. It's just counterproductive, really, for lion to actively hunt them down, as well as hyena. It just wouldn't work that way. So when they confront each other, there are potential for a disaster. Leopard will invariably climb a tree and try and get out of the way of lion. Hyena will try and get out of the way, but sometimes hyena can gang up on lion, so it's a numbers story entirely. But sometimes hyena numbers can outweigh the numbers of lion, and so they can keep lion at bay. But if they get a chance, more leopard than hyena perhaps, and cheetah, if they get a chance and they see leopard and cheetah and they have the opportunity to actually catch and kill them, they will, but they won't actively hunt them down. You see, there might be competition in the sense that they're hunting for the same food source to some degree, but generally they have different hunting methods, and of course leopard are hunting slightly smaller prey. Leopard also have the wonderful ability of being able to take their prey up a tree, and so that conflict over kills is resolved to a large extent by that fact. Often a leopard will relinquish its kill if it's confronted by another predator, because no predator can really afford a bad injury, because a predator's got to have all its muscle, it's got to have all its fitness to be able to hunt, and an injury can hinder its ability to hunt. So confrontation is generally avoided with the predators. I mean, when a leopard, I've seen a leopard confronting a lioness when neither one wants to turn and back away, because the lioness knows that she'll get claws, and it's the same with the leopard. She knows she'll get claws, but the lioness also knows she can't go forward. She can't attack the leopard from the front like that, because that leopard will scratch her face to pieces. So there's an understanding of how severe the injury, or how severe results in injuries can be, and it's rather better to acquiesce and not have a physical confrontation. So I wouldn't say they live in harmony. Not exactly that they live in harmony, but they learn to avoid each other. Leopard learn to listen out for the lion, and they tend to steer clear of them. But having said that, there have been many, many times in my life that I've had leopard up a tree and lion underneath the tree, and the lion, just for the sake of it, for Dusker, will just lie under that tree and intimidate the leopard to some extent. But they generally try and avoid each other. And on that note, time to wander off. negative. A lot of bulbul, there's a lot of alarming going on here. Black cap bulbul, somber bulbul, could be an owl up there. Can't even see them, it's very dark. In the crown of that jackleberry. This is a bourbean, it's lost all its leaves. Starting to get new ones. I sort of in process of losing and getting new ones. There's definitely something up there that's not making those birds. I'm happy. Was that a duiker? Yeah. So no leopard here, there's a duiker here. Oh boy, okay, well, I think it was possibly an owl or something that they might have been shouting at. Those trees are ideal for the likes of giant spotted eagle owl. And that's the end of our day, I'm afraid. We will see you tomorrow. Maybe not. I have to go to town and go on a shopping trip. It's going to take all day. So we'll see what we're going to discuss it. We'll post something on Facebook about tomorrow's drive. I'm not sure if we are going ahead or if we're going to have to take a break. But until then, otherwise it'll be Friday morning. Get ready for the weekend. So, oh, hello. Hello, everybody. Looking me over my house. Bye bye, love you lot. See you soon. I'm using a gravity drive to go home. Push, Aaron, push. Push. I like gravity drive. It's quiet. Okay, we'll go back to gas for a little bit. Bye everybody.